My beloved child, pause right here and feel this moment settle into your chest, because nothing about your presence is accidental. Even your breath right now is guided. Even the quiet awareness drawing you here has meaning. You did not arrive by curiosity alone. You were called. There is a soft but undeniable pull in your spirit because light itself is reaching for you. And tonight, I speak not to the crowd, not to the world, but to you alone. I have been waiting for you to grow still enough to hear this tone, gentle enough to feel this truth, brave enough to receive what is about to be poured into your life. I know how heavy the nights have been. I know how often sleep avoided you while your mind replayed unanswered prayers and unfinished hopes. I know the way your heart tightens when you wonder if you waited too long, if you missed something sacred, if life somehow moved on without you. Listen to me now and let this knowing wrap around you like warmth. Nothing passed you by. Nothing was wasted. Nothing escaped my sight. Every delay you endured was a quiet alignment. Every closed door redirected you away from what would have drained your soul. Every tear you shed watered the ground where your next season was growing unseen. You were never forgotten. You were being prepared. There were moments you felt invisible, moments when your kindness went unnoticed and your strength was taken for granted. You carried burdens in silence while still showing up for others with a steady face and a willing heart. When no one asked how you were really doing, when your prayers felt like whispers into empty air, I was closer than you realized. I was shaping something inside you that could not be rushed. I was teaching you how to stand without applause, how to trust without proof, how to love without guarantee. These were not punishments, they were protections. Let me show you something now. Close your eyes in your spirit and imagine a soft golden light descending slowly. Not blinding, not overwhelming, just steady and warm. It settles first on your shoulders, lifting weight you have carried for years. Then it moves through your chest, loosening knots formed by disappointment and fear. Finally, it flows into your hands, reminding you that you were always meant to hold abundance, not just survive. This light has been with you longer than you know. Tonight, you are simply aware of it. You wondered why your path felt steeper than others, why ease seemed to find everyone else while you had to fight for every inch of peace. It is because your spirit was being strengthened to carry more. You were never meant for shallow victories. You were being shaped for lasting impact. While others were distracted by noise, you were learning discernment. While others chased approval, you were building endurance. While others settled, you kept asking deeper questions. This was not a flaw. This was a calling. Hear this clearly now. The season of waiting is ending. The quiet stretching of your faith is giving way to movement. What felt like stagnation was alignment. What felt like loss was release. What felt like loneliness was refinement. You are stepping into a moment where things begin to recognize you, where opportunities meet you halfway, where provision flows without strain. Not because you forced it, but because you are ready to receive it. Now rise, my child, stand in this truth and let it anchor you. You are not behind, you are right on time. The timing you questioned was precise. The detours that confused you saved you. The endings that broke your heart made space for what could finally sustain it. I was never delaying your blessing. I was ensuring it would not destroy you when it arrived. There is a shift happening now. Not just around you, but within you. You may feel it as a quiet confidence, a calm replacing anxiety, a strange peace even when circumstances have not fully changed. This is the signal. This is the inner agreement between your spirit and mine. You are no longer begging for permission to step forward. You are stepping because you know you belong there. Let me guide you into another vision. See yourself standing before wide gates made of light, not locked, not guarded, simply waiting. These gates respond not to effort, but to alignment. As you step closer, they open effortlessly because they recognize your frequency. On the other side is not chaos or uncertainty, but order, clarity, and provision. This is the space you were being prepared for. This is the level your faith unlocked. You feared abundance because you were taught it would change you. Let me correct that. Lack was what exhausted you. Struggle was what distorted your joy. Abundance will restore your generosity, deepen your gratitude, and expand your capacity to love. Wealth in its pure form is not greed, it is flow. It is energy moving freely through open hands and an anchored heart. And you, my beloved, have learned how to hold without clinging, how to receive without losing yourself. Receive this blessing now. I am releasing resources toward you that will not require you to shrink or compromise. I am aligning people who see your value without needing you to perform. I am opening channels of income, creativity, and favor that match your integrity. What comes next will feel steady, not frantic, clear, not confusing, supported, not forced. There will be moments when your old doubts try to speak again. They will remind you of who you used to be, of what went wrong, of why you should stay small. When that happens, remember this moment. Remember how calm your spirit feels right now. Remember the warmth moving through you. That is your truth. Anything that contradicts this peace is no longer your authority. Let the rain of miracles fall gently now. Not loud, not dramatic, but consistent and nourishing. Each drop represents provision, timing, connection, and insight. It soaks into the soil of your life, activating seeds planted long ago. Some will sprout quickly. Others will unfold over time. None will fail. Speak these truths with me slowly, letting each one land. I am open to receive abundance. I am guided by divine wisdom. I am supported in every step I take. I am worthy of peace and prosperity. I am aligned with limitless provision. I am safe to grow and expand. Feel how your body responds when you affirm what is already true. You are not stepping into chaos. You are stepping into order. You are not chasing miracles. You are becoming a place where miracles arrive naturally. Your faith is no longer fragile. It is rooted. It has depth. It has history. And now it has momentum. There were things that had to fall away. Relationships that could not follow you forward. Versions of yourself that could not survive this level of clarity. Let them go without guilt. Gratitude does not require attachment. Honor what taught you, then release it. You are not abandoning anything sacred. You are honoring it by continuing. I am with you in this next chapter more tangibly than before. Not just in silence, but in guidance. Not just in comfort, but in direction. You will notice signs, confirmations, unexpected ease. Pay attention to what feels light. Pay attention to what flows. That is how you will know where to walk. You are not meant to hide anymore. Your light is not disruptive, it is necessary. There are others waiting to see what faith looks like when it matures, when it stops begging and starts trusting, when it stops surviving and starts building. Your life will speak louder than your words ever could. If you feel emotion rising now, let it. This is release. This is recognition. This is your spirit remembering who it has always been beneath the weight of waiting. You are not fragile. You are forged. You are not late. You are aligned. You are not forgotten. You are chosen. Rest tonight with this knowing wrapped around you like a promise. Tomorrow will meet you differently because you are meeting it differently. The world responds when you do not doubt your place within it. I am ready to receive. I am chosen for abundance. I am guided by light. I am one with divine love. I am free. I am blessed. And as that blessing settles into you, as the last echo of those affirmations gently dissolves into your breath, do not rush away from the stillness, because what unfolds now is the deepening of what has already begun. The quiet continuation of a promise that does not end with comfort, but expands into purpose. And I want you to feel how the atmosphere around you subtly shifts, as if the unseen leans closer, as if the very space you occupy recognizes that you have crossed an inner threshold you cannot return from. Because once the soul remembers its alignment, it cannot convincingly pretend to be lost again. And this is why something inside you feels alert, yet calm, awake, yet unafraid. Because you are no longer waiting for permission to exist fully. You are remembering that you were authorized by light itself the moment you were formed. And even now, as you sit with these words, there is a gentle recalibration happening in places you do not consciously control, in your nervous system, in your expectations, in the way your heart prepares for tomorrow, And I know there is a part of you that wonders how this inner peace can survive in a world that has so often tested you. But hear me clearly now. This peace is not fragile. It is forged. It has passed through pressure and remained intact. It has been baptized by disappointment and still believes. It has been bruised by delay and still trusts. And that is why it will endure. Not because circumstances will suddenly become perfect, but because you are no longer empty when you face them. You are filled, and fullness changes everything. There were times you felt like you were living in fragments, as if pieces of yourself were scattered across memories, relationships, and abandoned versions of who you thought you had to be, and you tried to gather yourself through effort, through explanation, through endurance. But what you could not do by force is now happening through surrender, because wholeness does not come from holding everything together. It comes from releasing what was never meant to define you. And right now, in this continuation of becoming, the scattered pieces are not being chased. They are being called home gently, naturally, without struggle, as if they always knew where they belonged. And you may feel moments of emotion rising without clear reason. A softness in your chest, a heaviness lifting from behind your eyes. This is integration. This is the quiet miracle of your inner world aligning with truth, and it is happening because you finally stopped arguing with your worth and started resting in it. Let me take you deeper now, into a space not of imagination, but of remembrance, where you see yourself standing in a vast open field at dawn, the sky painted with colors too tender to name, the air cool and clean, carrying the scent of new beginnings. And in this field there is no audience, no pressure, no expectation, only presence. And as you stand there, you realize you are not waiting for something to arrive. You are witnessing what has already arrived within you. And from the horizon, light begins to move toward you, not rushing, not demanding, simply approaching with certainty. And as it reaches you, it does not overwhelm you. It fits you. It wraps around you like recognition. And you understand without words that this light is not separate from you. It is responding to you because you are finally resonating with what you have always carried. And this is why the future no longer feels like a threat, because you are no longer approaching it empty-handed. You once feared that stepping into your fullness would cost you love, that if you stopped shrinking, stopped explaining, stopped overgiving, you would be left alone. But look at you now, still here, still breathing, still held, and realize that what fell away was never meant to follow you forward, and what remains is what is real, what is strong, what is capable of growing with you. And this is the truth many never discover, that loss is not always punishment. Sometimes it is protection. Sometimes it is the clearing required for expansion. Sometimes it is the answer to prayers you whispered when you were too tired to hope out loud. As you move forward from this moment, there will be invitations disguised as choices, moments where you are tempted to return to familiar discomfort simply because it is known, but your body will respond differently now. Your spirit will tighten at what once felt normal but was never nourishing. And this is not confusion. This is discernment awakening. This is your inner compass recalibrated to truth. And when you choose differently, even if your voice shakes, even if your hands tremble, the unseen will move with you, aligning support you cannot yet see, rearranging outcomes you could not plan, because courage does not require certainty, it creates it. I want you to understand something vital now, something that will anchor you when doubt tries to revisit you in quieter moments. Abundance is not rushing toward you as a reward for suffering. It is flowing toward you as a response to alignment. And alignment does not mean perfection. It means honesty. It means you are no longer pretending to be smaller than you are to keep others comfortable. It means you are no longer negotiating your boundaries for scraps of approval. It means you are choosing truth even when it costs you familiarity. And this frequency, this integrity, this inner congruence, it is magnetic. It reorganizes reality around you. It invites opportunities that do not drain you, relationships that do not confuse you, and resources that do not require you to abandon yourself. You will notice subtle changes first, a conversation that opens a door, an idea that feels alive instead of heavy, a moment where you realize you are no longer afraid to want more, And do not dismiss these as coincidences. This is momentum building. This is the universe responding to a signal you are finally broadcasting clearly. And as this momentum grows, you will be asked to trust your intuition more than your history. To listen to what feels expansive instead of what feels safe. And this is where many hesitate. But you are not many. You are here, you are listening, you are already responding, and that tells me you are ready. Now hear this command softly but firmly. Let it settle into your bones. Step forward without apology. Not aggressively, not defensively, but peacefully, confidently. Knowing that you do not need to prove what is already evident to the unseen. And as you do, you will feel a new kind of strength. Not the kind that clenches, but the kind that stands open. Not the kind that fights, but the kind that endures. And this strength will guide your decisions, shape your days, and protect your energy without effort, because it is rooted in self-respect. There will be moments ahead when others project their fears onto your growth, when they question your changes, when they subtly try to pull you back into old dynamics that benefited them, but cost you. And in those moments, do not argue, do not over-explain, simply remain. Your calm will speak louder than defense ever could. Your consistency will unsettle what cannot control you anymore. And this is not cruelty, this is clarity. This is the natural boundary that forms when someone chooses themselves without abandoning compassion. Let me bathe you now in another vision, one that will stay with you when words fade. Imagine a gentle rain falling around you, not cold, not harsh, but warm and luminous. Each drop shimmering with possibility. And as it touches your skin, it absorbs into you, not soaking your clothes, not weighing you down, but becoming part of you. And you understand that this rain is not something you chase. It is something you allow. It falls because the atmosphere is right, because the conditions are aligned. And you are those conditions now, open, receptive, grounded. And this is how miracles arrive, quietly, consistently, without spectacle, until one day you look back and realize your entire landscape has changed. You are no longer asking if you deserve what is coming. You are preparing to steward it wisely. You are no longer fearing success. You are considering how to remain rooted within it. You are no longer praying for escape. You are aligning for expansion. And this shift, subtle as it feels, is profound. It changes not only what you receive, but how you hold it. And this is why what comes next will stay. And Kwong, I want you to carry this truth with you like a compass. You do not need to rush your unfolding. You do not need to compare your timeline. You do not need to explain your transformation to those who cannot feel it. Your only responsibility is to remain honest with your inner knowing, to nourish what feels alive, to rest when your body asks, to move when your spirit nudges, and to trust that you are being guided even when the path curves unexpectedly. As this part of the journey continues, you will feel called to release one final layer, the belief that you must earn rest through exhaustion, that you must justify joy through suffering, that you must struggle to be worthy of ease. And when this belief loosens, truly loosens, you will experience a freedom that does not depend on circumstances, a lightness that does not require permission. And this is the state from which your next chapter will naturally unfold. Stay with me in this awareness. Let it deepen, let it root, let it become familiar. Because what we are building here is not a momentary high, it is a new baseline. A way of being that supports everything that follows. And as you breathe now, feel how your body responds to safety, how your mind quiets when it is no longer bracing for disappointment, how your heart opens when it is no longer negotiating its worth. This is the foundation, and from this foundation, everything else will rise. And so you continue, not with urgency, not with fear, but with a steady knowing, carrying this presence into whatever comes next, because this story is still unfolding, and you are no longer watching it happen to you. You are participating in it consciously, courageously, and with light.